Hi everyone. 2020 is finally and gratefully winding to an end. What a year it's been. We all started off this year full of hope and high expectations, but then the COVID just hit us like a whirlwind out of the blues. I bet neither you nor anyone you know around you was prepared for what happened. But we thank God that we are here, we're rounding off the year. And according to Charles Batch, a former American footballer, proper preparation prevents poor performance. And that's why I've put together a webinar for everyone who wants to move from the place of fear and uncertainty to the place of faith and assuredness. This webinar will be coming up on the 26th of December 2020 by 12 noon, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. I will be sharing with you the tips and the tricks and all that you need to be able to get 2021 right. See you there.
Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. Finally, we get to do the plan, strategizing. I'm glad that you're ready. We're expecting well over, hundreds of people who have, indicated interest. We've tried to reach as many people as possible, because if there's anything we need at this time is to really, really begin to work towards 2021. In this session that we're going to have, let me begin by saying that this is the first in a series of sessions that we'll be having together, and we hope that we'll have an enjoyable time today. As I was saying earlier on, this is the first of the series that we will be doing, because we feel that the topic of getting 2021 right is such a deep one and an immersive one. So we would like to really get us into a thorough learning mode. Chances are that some of the things that we'll be sharing you have heard before, but I believe that there are a few things that we will be saying that may be new to you, or that will help to drive home the point that you already know. My hope and desire is that we'll move you into the place of action and into the place of accomplishment. So again, let me say a very big welcome to everyone who has joined us on Facebook, through the Telegram link, from all over the place. However you've joined, you're welcome. I'm also hoping that you'll be able to grab a pen and paper, because you'll have to take down some notes. I'm a teacher. I like to give you points and then get you to take notes. I would also be throwing out some questions as we go along, and hopefully you'll have a chance to respond, because we'll be doing a little bit of a self-assessment, so that we'll know where we are and where we need to go. By way of introduction, let me say that Get Your Year Right, this is the third year we're doing it. It was a program I created in 2018. And I remember that came about because at the end of that year, I was looking at, going through what had happened, the year before. And I was just saying to myself, it didn't look like I had accomplished much. And while I was, pondering over it, meditating over it, looking at the reasons why, it didn't appear like I had done a lot and I had accomplished a lot of my goals, or a lot of, the things that I would have, it didn't look to me like I had come much further from where I was. One of the things that came to me was that it wasn't enough to just jump into a year. You need to prepare for it. Like I said, Charles Batch was one who said that proper preparation prevents poor performance. So in order that we get into a year where, we hit the ground running and we stay focused, all through the year, we had to come up with this program. So the essence of this program is to really help us get to grips ahead of time, with what we want the next 12 months to be like. One more thought I'd like to drop with you is the fact that the story in the Bible that talks about, it's a parable that Jesus gave that talks about the owner of a vineyard who came to the vine dresser and said to him, look, this tree that has been here for 3 years, I've come expecting to see fruit from it. But every year I've come and I haven't had any fruit. And the vine owner said, look, cut it down. There's no point in its occupying space. We'd rather have the resources or share the resources, leave the resources for the other trees, to enjoy, the other more fruitful trees to enjoy. And the vine dresser made a plea and said, look, just leave it. Let me dig around it. Let me, maybe put some fertilizer, help it, push it, shove it, and see what will become of it. Hopefully within the next 12 months, when you come around, you will look and see that it has, it has become fruitful, it has yielded fruit. And so that story teaches us that, the end of the year is a time for stock taking. It's a time for us to look at what's been happening, how the last 12 months has been, how productive we've been, how effective we've been, how farther down the road in the pursuit of life, purpose, and our destiny we've come, how many people we've, affected, how many lives we've touched, and, how we're doing in general. I think that every human being should have a time when they assess what is happening with them and not just, keep drifting. And that's why setting goals is the right thing to do just before you get into the new year. When we started this program 3 years ago, we had the first edition for 2019. That was at the end of 2018. And it was an in-person, in-house, a physical meeting. And we had quite a number of people attend the program, and with very tremendous testimonials, which in the course of our interaction subsequently we'll be able to share some of the testimonials. But we found that people were able to at least, get some sort of focus and direction, and ultimately did better than the previous years. We held a second edition last year, and little did we know that 2020 was going to be the way that it's turned out. But gratefully, we've also had some really exceptional testimonials of how having the goals had kept people, despite the whirlwind, the storm, the uncertainties, had kept them going, and keeping strong. And quite a number of people have testified that they were able to accomplish their set goals despite, because they set the goals, despite all that has happened. So this time, I'm glad this is the first time we're going online with it. And I dare say that subsequently it will be online, because we want to really get this message, this very effective message, right. So again, this is the first of the series that I'll be taking today, this session, and then next Saturday on the that will be on the 9th, or sorry, on the 2nd, on the 9th rather, the 2 Saturdays from now, that will be on the 9th of January 2021. We will take another session, and then after that we will have a series of coaching sessions. But the plan this year is to be able to help you and stay in touch, stay connected through the year. Just build a community that will help us to keep each other accountable, keep us going. You need help, really. You need help. You can, there's a limit to what you can do on your own. So hopefully this forum will provide for us a community of people, of masterminds, of like-minded people that would like to really make a success of life. So let's just dive in this discussion. Today's discussion, we'll be looking at 2020, what happened. We'll be appraising it, and we'll be looking at what went wrong and what worked out. And you will be doing that appraisal yourself. You'll be looking at yourself and saying, what did I get right? How did I start? What was 2020 like? And then we will look at the reasons for setting goals. Why should you set goals when everything seems so uncertain? And we'll move on from there to look at what kinds of goals you should be setting and what the principles for your success would be, So let's dive into it right now. So how was your 2020? How was 2020? I'm talking about 2020 right now. In retrospect, because we're just a few hours away from it, and very soon we'll jump into 2021. And in my mind, I'm seeing myself already in 2021 and beyond. So my question is, how was your 2020? Did you set goals for yourself? And I'd like you to type in and, just respond so that I can see what's happening with you. You can and also share with others. And also, I'd like you to let me know where you're watching from. You'll be glad to know. Okay, so did you set goals for 2020? And what were your goals? And now the next question would be, did you accomplish them? I would even go ahead to say to you, can you score yourself? Can you give yourself a mark for what you did? Because it's not just enough to, enough to set the goals. We must also accomplish them. So accomplishing the goals, is even more critical than just setting them. So have you scored yourself now? And if you've scored yourself, what can you say was your biggest challenge? Can you give yourself a pass mark? Or can you say, I didn't quite do well? What was your biggest challenge? Can you share with us? And also, on your notepad, just take some time to note down what's running through your mind right now that your biggest challenge was. We'll just give you like 1 minute or two to get that done, and then we'll move on. So I can see a few people. Victoria, hi. You're welcome, and I'm glad that you are here. Just before we had the technical glitch and all the interruptions. Wow, Ochi, my friend, is reaching us from Maryland. Hi, Ochi, good to see you. Welcome to this chat room. And I'm glad. I'm sure that as the time goes on, we will be able to acknowledge those who are here. Janet, hi from Uyo. You're welcome. Okay, so let's quickly get back to ask you is, how was 2020 for you? Did you set goals? And did you accomplish them? And if you did, can you score yourself? What was your biggest challenge? What happened? Were you distracted? Some people have said their biggest challenge was the distraction, the fear, and all kinds of things. Oh yes, Ochi set goals, and did you accomplish them? And what I'd like every one of you to do is actually to do a self-assessment. Try to score yourself and say to yourself, this is what happened, or this is what I did, or this is what I didn't do right. And while you're at it, while you're, I can see Temitope. Hi. Hi, Temitope, good to see you. So while you're at it, while you're checking, assessing what happened with your goals, the goals that you set, while you're doing that, I'd like you to ask yourself, could you have done better? Was there anything that you could have done that could have been better? So let's look at 2021. One of the things that I was taught, or that I've learned, and that has always guided me, in terms of when a new year is about to break out, or we're about to usher in a new year, it's a thought that it's good that a year ends and a new one starts. The end of the year signifies the close of a season the close of a chapter, and the beginning of a new year signifies a fresh and brand new opportunity. It's a new opportunity for you to reclaim what was lost, to try again in the places where you failed. It's a new opportunity, to rewrite the history. It's a new opportunity to set, it's like life giving you a brand new, a brand new canvas for you to write on, when the new year comes. So let's look at what it will be and what it should be and what we would be looking at or what we should be doing with 2021. In other words, I'm saying that whatever had happened to you in 2020, whether it was good or bad, however 2020 went, whether it went well or it didn't go quite as expected, whether you managed, you survived, or whether you were, you sailed smoothly through whatever happens. Right now, we're at the eve of a fresh opportunity. A brand new season is about to open up for us, and we can take all of our successes yet to another level. And if we have had failures, we can actually begin to rewrite and begin to, rise up and go for it again and have another go at life and move forward. But globally, the COVID-19 pandemic is still on. It's still very much, and of course, all of you know now we're hearing about the second wave in different parts of the world. Even here in Nigeria, we're hearing that, that we're in on our second wave. And also, this portends grave consequences for businesses, for economies, for all kinds of travel, for the global community, for interactions, for businesses, for manufacturing and all kinds of things, for the movement for trade and the movement of goods and services. And yes, it's true that, the vaccine has been rolled out and is being rolled out at this time, but we can't really say it's uhuru yet. There's still such, and the vaccine is welcomed, with both great news and good cheer and a lot of skepticism. So really, the outlook is still not so good. It's probably not much better than what it was in 2020. The only difference is perhaps that 2020, it came suddenly like a whirlwind. We're totally unprepared for it, and but right now, yes, we've gotten into it. We can say, okay, we can anticipate a little about what is going to happen, but it's still pretty much the same. There's not much of a light at the end of the tunnel when you look at, going by the statistics and by the predictions. And for those of us in Nigeria, even much so, Nigeria is currently in a recession, and we know what that means. It means that, there's inflation is going up, prices of goods are going up, productivity is dipping, earning income is dipping. Many people are losing their jobs, Naira is losing value. So truly, I can say to you that, it's not such a, how shall I put it? It's not such a cheering, outlook for 2021. But we have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to determine how you're going to go into 2021. It's entirely yours. And so I'm going to say to you, what's your own outlook? Yes, the world is predicting this and that. Everywhere is going haywire. What's your own outlook? Are you going to embrace 2021 with optimism or with pessimism? How is it going to be for you? Are you going to come out in fear, or you're going to decide to exercise your faith and dive in and plunge in? Faith helps us to make the move when we don't see the path clearly. Are you going to walk in fear? Are you going to walk in faith? And also, are you going to be courageous? Take up courage. Are you going to say, if I perish, I perish? Are you going to dive in wholeheartedly, leaving no stone unturned? Or are you going to be cautious? Are you going to be reserved? Are you going to, or are you even just going to just let things, just say, well, close, Sarah, whatever will be? Or are you, how is it going to be for you? This is the question you need to answer for yourself. No matter what the statistics are, no matter what is happening, what people are saying, what's on the news, it's your responsibility to take to answer this question. It's your responsibility to determine how you want to engage with 2021. And that's why, it brings me to the point about goal setting. Someone might say, why should I set goals when, everything is uncertain, when we're not sure of what's going to happen next? Why should I set goals? Well, for that can be a valid question, really, but you've got to know that there are still for every negative phenomenon, there is a positive, end of it, and what you take out and what becomes of you is what you decide to take out. But there are certain facts and principles about goal setting that neither the pandemic nor recession nor the upheavals of life, the ups and downs of life will change. One is that goal setting rather is more essential now than ever before. If you have never set goals rather before, this is the time for you to set your goals. If you have set goals before and you didn't accomplish your goals, this is the time for you to even set more. If you had set your goals in 2020 and the pandemic swept you off your feet, this is the time to get back on your feet and to set your goals again. You need to be able to maintain your productivity and above all, maintain your sanity. You must set goals. We know that only 20% of people set goals. Research has shown that only 20% of people set goals. And so if you choose to set goals and you actually go ahead to set your goals for 2021, then by simply deciding and doing that, you have set yourself among the 20% of the people that are set for success. You've already distinguished yourself from the rest of the people. You've already put yourself in the upper class, in the class of those who are in charge, who are in control. So I like you first and foremost, just by taking the decision and by remembering to just do, not just take the decision, but actually doing it. And that's why we're offering this opportunity, in this series to help you along, to help you actually actualize, not just to take the decision. Many people would love to set goals. Many people take decisions to set goals, but eventually are not able to do so because, they are not sure of how to go about it. And sometimes it just becomes an uphill task. So they get into life, they just engage without really having a clear-cut direction. So only 20% of people set goals. And when you set a goal, you put yourself in that upper echelon. Goal setting also improves your chance of success tenfold. Let me say it again. When you set goals, you stack the odds in your favor. When you set goals, you increase your chance of succeeding tenfold. That means that, if you set goals and set them properly and work your goals, you can accomplish even 10 times what you started out to, much more than you thought you could, much more than you thought you were capable of doing. I'm telling you that goal setting is one of the amazing principles for succeeding, amazing principles for getting back in control and getting things done in your life, making your year count, getting your year right. So for you, I'd like you to consider these 5 reasons, why you should set your goals, why you must set your goals, why it's so imperative that in 2021, you've got to set your goals. The first is that when you set goals, you put yourself in charge. You put yourself in charge. You take over the driver's seat. Because when you're about to set your goals, it's like having a clean canvas. You don't set your goals based on your circumstance, based on what is happening right now. You can actually, for example, not have even 1 naira in your account, but set a goal that by the end of the year, or that in 2021, you're going to have 1 million naira in your account. So setting goals will put you in charge. It will help you to think ahead of time and to say to you, this is what I want. Setting goals will put you in the driver's seat of your life. And that is so empowering. As soon as you put your goals down, and again, let me say, it's not just about thinking about them or saying, this is what I like to do. It's about actually setting them down, writing them, putting them on pen, and paper, and thinking about how you're going to get them to work. Okay, so setting goals put you in charge. Another reason for setting goals is that setting goals helps you to set sail properly. Setting goals helps you to design, a desirable future for your life. Again, rather than allowing circumstances to push you, you know, hither and thither, rather than allowing yourself to be caught up in managing everyday issues. When you set goals, you help to design ahead of time where you're going. It's pretty much the same way that, when an architect, or when someone wants to build, they get an architect to do a design. By doing a design and doing some sort of a 3D design or representation of what the finished product is going to be. You just sort of conceptualize what you want without even first of all laying the first block. So setting goals helps you to design. And notice the word design, because when you design, you're intentional. When you design, you're deliberate. When you design, you're not working according to what you have experienced. You're being aspirational. You're working according to what you want to see, according to the future. So by setting goals, automatically you begin to erase what has happened in the past. You begin to deny the past the power to hold you down. You begin to read your mind, read your subconscious, read your emotions of all the trauma and all the pain, that of the past and the failures of the past. Again, setting goals will give you a roadmap, and that will help you to focus and help you to stay on track. I mean, no one ever starts on a journey without, first of all, determining where they're going, and how they want that travel or that journey to be. They determine, this is my destination and this is how I want to go. You can actually determine, how you want to travel, the means and the mode of your travel, and within the means, you can determine how you want to travel. Would you like to travel in comfort, or would you like to just barely scrape through? For example, I mean, if you're taking an international flight, you can decide, whether you want to go first class or business class, or whether you want to just travel economy. So when you set your goals, you're giving yourself a chance to determine your roadmap, and a chance to determine how you want to go, whether you want to travel in comfort, whether you want to travel superbly, or whether you just want to scrape and get by. Again, setting goals triggers new behavior for you. There's no way you will set goals and hope to achieve them at the same level of behavior, level of mindset that you were, when you set them. So ab initio, by setting goals right now, you've already set yourself up for growth, for personal development, for self-mastery, for growth in dimensions that you cannot even begin to imagine. And lastly, but really not the least, and the list is on, is so much. I can go on and on, but I'd like to just allow you to ponder over these 5 reasons why you should set goals. Setting goals will boost your mental health. I'm telling you, we've heard stories of, the deterioration in mental health for people in 2020, just because, things just took them by surprise. Life, just went topsy-turvy. We've seen how people have gone into depression. We've seen suicide rates increase. We've seen, domestic violence increase. We've seen abuse of children, abuse of spouses increase. We've seen people lose their jobs, all because somehow they were unprepared for uncertainty. So when you set goals, it just helps to set your mind in the right frame and set your mind in the right place. Because again, when you have something that you're working towards and something that you're living for, then you will have optimism all the time. And like I said, even when you fail, even when you stumble, even when you're behind in accomplishing your goals, you still have something, you have a target. When you set a target, then you do everything to accomplish it. accomplishing your target becomes, your primary reason for being, and helps you keep on track. So 5 reasons why you should set goals. I hope you're taking notes, and I hope that at least you can find one reason in all of the reasons that I've given to you. And like I said, there are so many more reasons for which you can set goals, and for which you should plan, for 2021. And you can give yourself those reasons. You can just take time and pen down what your reasons are, because as we know, when we find our why, then the way becomes, or the how becomes obvious, becomes achievable, or becomes attainable. We find the how. Once we can locate our why, once we have the why that is compelling enough, once our why is reasonable and compelling enough, then the how becomes a workover. Okay, so think about it for a minute. And after this call, after this webinar, I'd like you to take some time to actually say to yourself, why should I set this goal? And why should I set, and for each of the goals you're thinking about setting, think about why. Why am I doing this? Why should I set goals? So let's quickly move on and talk about what kinds of goals you should be setting. And while we're at it, maybe you can share with us, why do you think you should set goals? Why would you be setting goals this year? What would be, what would be it for you? Maybe not the specifics of your goal, but what would be your reason? What would be your why for taking time to set your goals and to plan 2021? Now, let's move on and look at what kind of goals we should be setting. I know that you've probably heard about setting financial goals, health goals, career goals, family and relationship goals. Um, I'm sure you've also heard, about personal development goals, travel goals. The list is endless, actually. Weight loss goals, marriage goals, new how, whatever it is that you decide or you desire, professional development goals, yes, so there are all kinds of goals that we should be setting, but I'd like to take a different approach to it today and try to give you very broad, should I say, a very broad, or some principles that should guide you for each of the goals that you'll be setting. When you decide that I'm going to set a particular financial goal, then you look at some of the points I'm about to bring forth to you right now, and see how you can check off each of these points. See how, this goal you're setting, does it meet this criterion? Would, your goals fit into these criteria that I'm about to bring forth right now? So the first is that you must set goals that take you far into the future. In fact, it's been said, we're talking about getting 2021 right, but, it's been said that the further you can go into the future, the better. But, because of the uncertainties, perhaps people can say it's better to set, short to medium term goals. Decision is yours, but I think that the further you're able to see or project or plan for the future, the better for you. What will happen is that when you've made, your choices for where you're going, your long-term plan, where we want to find yourself in the future, in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, when you make such plans, then, it becomes easy to tweak the plans along the way. Your plans are not, and your goals will definitely not be cast in stone. So you can make the plans and set the goals, and then you can tweak them along the way. I want to underscore this point with a personal story. I remember that when I turned 40, I was speaking with one of my mentors, a spiritual mentor actually. And he said to me, "So Dr. Etuk, how do you feel turning 40?" And I said to him, "Look, I don't feel good at all. It's supposed to be a milestone age, but I look at my life and I find that I really haven't accomplished much. I've not come as far as I thought I should have, So he asked me a question. And I said, what would you really like to do? Well, I said, well, I'd like to be in a place where I could be coaching, mentoring, and helping people, just helping people find direction, helping people, find clarity in life and all that. And he said to me, but you know that's like a life purpose, a life ministry. I said, yes. He said, but that won't give you money. It will take money from you. I said, wow, yes. And then he said to me, okay, so what's the state of your business right now? What's the state of your family finance right now? How much of your family finance do you contribute right now? And as at that time, uh, um, my income and the proceeds, the things, what comes to me from my business, helps to augment my family finance about 50%. So I said 50%, which means, my husband will do 50% and I will do 50%. And he said to me, okay, so you're not ready yet to leave your business because you still need to take care of your family. So I said, yes, that's right. So he said, so what you need to do in order not to be frustrated when you get to 45 or when you get to 50, in order not to look back and say, I haven't accomplished much. He said to me, so work your business, plan your business so that, and work it for the next 5 years, so that by the time you're 45, you would have set structures in place, had enough financial freedom to be able to go into the things that you feel you're called to do. Fantastic counsel, fantastic advice, but sadly I didn't take it because at the time I didn't quite really understand the import of setting goals and taking them far into the future. And that's what I'm saying to you, that when you want to set your goals right now, don't just set goals for 2021. Set goals as far into the future as possible. Think about where you are with your family right now. Do you have young children? And where will they be? What will be of them in terms of their education and upbringing in the next 5 years and in the next 10 years? And what can you do to help support them in that? Think about, like me, what your family finances are right now, and think about how much contribution you make, whether you're a man or a woman, and see what needs to change, what dynamics will change in the next 5, 10 years, and use that to set your financial goals. Think about your career, where you're going, where you want to be, where you are right now, where you want to be in the next 5, 10 years, and use that to set your goals. So set goals that will take you far into the future. Don't just think about 2021. The second criterion, or the second kind of goals that you should be setting, will be goals that truly challenge you and take you out of your comfort zone. Oh my, I've got to say that again. Set goals that truly challenge you and take you out of your comfort zone. It's called comfort zone for a purpose. Comfort zone is comfortable. Comfort zone is within what we're already used to, is within what comes easily and what comes readily to us. But if you set goals that you can readily attain or achieve, if you make plans for what you can readily achieve or attain, then you won't really have enough motivation to push yourself. You won't have the impetus. You won't have the propelling, force to push you. You won't shake off your indolence, your bad practices like your procrastination. You won't challenge yourself to be better, to do more, and to live more. You won't be challenging yourself. So set goals that will really take you out of your comfort zone. Set goals that will, like really ruffle, your nest. That will make you think you're crazy, that will cause palpitations every time you think about it, but at the same time, not enough to discourage you, but to propel you. Okay. And then so I don't know what that may be for you. For you, it may be it may be pursuing in a course. Oh, that just brought something to mind. In 2017, I came out of a training, a session a group coaching session, and I was so broken, and I was determined to pursue a goal that I had and had stalled, had kept in the cooler, or had even forgotten totally about for 14 years. And that goal was to study for and acquire an MBA, a Master of Business Administration. I'd had that goal and that desire since 2003. And it wasn't until 2017 that I quickly, was able to get up to start working on it. And when I started, I felt like a fish out of water. I was coming across, I was set in an environment that I had not been before. I was being taught courses that I'd never heard of, even from medical school, all kinds of things. I was coming across concepts that were sounding like, Greek to me. But I'm so glad. Thankfully, I just kept going, by God's grace and the help, of my friends and colleagues in class and all that. It was such a transformational experience for me. So set a goal that will take you out of your comfort zone. Again, set goals that require definite change of habits to achieve. You need to acquire new habits. New habits. I cannot, express that enough. When you do the same things over and over, you will have the same results. So if what you've had in the last few years have not been satisfactory to you, and even if they've been satisfactory, and now you want to attain new heights, you want to break new frontiers and break barriers, you must set goals that will compel you to acquire new habits and change your old habits. Drop certain things so again, a personal example, one of my health goals was to to have a certain weight. I had a certain weight goal, and also like health goal, because of my blood pressure. And one of my weight goals was to do exercise, daily. So, I started with, setting a goal to do 5 kilometers every morning, a walk, And what that compelled me to do was to change the time that I went to bed, because up until the time I set that goal, I was very nocturnal. I would keep awake till midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'll either be studying, reading, or just watching something, or online. But I've never really been one to go to bed early. And when I go to bed late at maybe 3 a.m. or something like that, then I won't wake up until maybe 8 a.m. So, but in order to be able to wake up and do the 1 hour walk that I'd set as part of my health goal, I needed to start going to bed early. So I started resetting the time, winding down from 9 p.m. and so that by 10, I should be soundly asleep. So set goals that will help you that will require that you have definite change of habits to achieve. Also, you set goals that require the collaboration of others. This is so vital. If you set a goal that you can achieve all by yourself, then chances are that the goal is small. But set a goal that you know that you don't have the capacity and the capability to achieve currently, that you need people. You need to come up, and I don't mean like you need people. Maybe I don't want to say you don't need people under you, but more like you need people above you. You need mentors, you need coaches, you need people who have accomplished what you hope to accomplish. You need collaborators, peers that will be encouraging you, and cheering you on. People that can become accountability partners with you, or people that you'll be looking at, and because you're in their midst, or because they are before you, you speed up in what you're doing. You'll be propelled to keep going. So again, let me use my exercise example. So I just used to walk briskly at my own pace every time I went out on the walk, on my morning exercise. But one day, a guy came by me and he was jogging and he kept saying, "Oh, madam, quickly, oh, let's go, let's go, let's go, double up, let's go." And then I started attempting to jog and I tried to follow him. And that was the beginning of my jogging. Up until that time, I never jogged. But because that guy passed by me, zap, and said, "Madam, let's go, let's go," I started, with baby steps, a little at a time. I'll jog for maybe just just a short distance. I'll start panting. I will go back to walking. Then I'll jog. I'll go back to walking. But over time, I've gained momentum. But that would never have happened if someone hadn't come to spur me on and cheer me on. So you must set goals that require others, the collaboration of others, and finally you have to set goals that will be for the greater good. This year and the years after 2021 must not be the years where you're just after me, myself, and I, myself and my children or my little family. You must begin to think beyond yourself, beyond your immediate circle, because we are created for impact. We are created, to be blessings to others. So set goals that will enable you to reach out. And that's, again, part of going outside your comfort zone. Set goals that will enable you to look out for others, that will enable you to reach out to others. I give you an example with this webinar. What I'm doing is totally out of my comfort zone, in the sense that I'm a one-on-one person. And I really love to meet people, hold hands, hug, look at their faces, smile, wink, and all of that. I'm a very touchy kind of person. But with COVID and with the current dynamics, this has become nearly impossible. But look at what is happening right now. I'm able to reach much further. My friend, Ochi is listening in from the US, and and so many other people from different parts of the world. So what am I saying? Set goals that will allow you to gain a greater speed, greater influence, greater good for people. I'm sure you're getting the drift. You understand, you're sort of thinking and saying, "Oh, really?" So there are a few things I'd like you to consider, while you're on it, while you're thinking about what your goal should be. Again, let me go back to what I said about the greater good. Think about what you can do for the less privileged, for those who, just think about how you can also mentor others. You never can know, what you carry, unless you begin to dish it out. And sometimes, you may feel that you're not qualified enough, but with whatever you have, wherever you are, you can actually reach out. So the things to consider while you're setting your goals, while you're making plans for 2021 and beyond. Number one, think about this. Keep it before you. Know that you're here on purpose. Many people passed on in 2020 and even before 2020. And many people, every day, the statistics are rising. Lord have mercy. We're really, really praying that the hand of this plague, will be stayed. But if you are fortunate to be alive today, there is a reason. There is a purpose. And what's that reason? And what's that purpose? And what are you doing about it? You can't engage, you can't be nonchalant about life, really. You can't sit back and allow things to just happen. You've got to rise up. Live with that consciousness that I'm here on a mission. I've got a purpose. I'm alive today, occupying space, making use of resources, having hope, praying, believing for things to come to me, believing for blessings to come, believing for ways to be made for me, all for only one reason, so that you can be enabled to fulfill your purpose. You've got purpose to fulfill. The time is now to do whatever you've got to do. Not tomorrow, not the day after, not the year after. By the way that things are going, haven't you noticed that it looks like the days are running so fast? It looks like, you just start, it's 5 a.m. and then it's 5 p.m. and you're wondering, what have I done with the day? It looks like it's January and then it's December, and you're wondering, where has one full year gone? There's no more time to wait, to waste, to dilly-dally. You must fulfill purpose. The second thing that I'd like you to consider is that in accomplishing your goals, even in setting the goals and in accomplishing them and getting 2021 to be the best year ever, there's a process to it. And most times, the process is really, greater than the goal itself, than achieving the goal itself. So it doesn't matter what your goals are, your process is much greater and much better. The process that you go through is much greater and much better. In my years of doing business, after a while, I came to a certain realization that no matter the size of the contract, how much money you make, in the business, at the end of the day, what is really enduring is what, the transformation, what you become by engaging. It's not what you get out that matters. It's what you work in that matters. It is what you become. It is who you become by engaging. So the process, it might take a while. It might take a few months. You may start off and you don't seem to be succeeding. You don't seem to be getting it. But not to worry. You just need to keep at it. Don't set a goal and say, how am I going to achieve this? No, just know that the process is greater and more important than the outcome. The process is greater. The process is more important than the outcome. If you focus on the process, you will definitely get to the outcome. Now, I also like you to consider the fact that you don't need to set goals in every single area. Well, I know some other coaches may find fault with this, but this is my personal experience that once I get to set goals in different, arenas of my life, different segments and sectors of my life, I try to set goals. First, I get confused. It becomes overwhelming. Secondly, my attention is scattered and I begin to grapple with trying to, focus or trying to, get it going or trying to work this out. So my advice or my approach would be that, you find the keystone goals and then focus on those. And then what are keystone goals? The goals that accomplishing them will have far-reaching consequences or will help you to accomplish all the other minor goals or all the other goals. So for example, if, how shall I put it? Let's assume you have a financial goal. And then of course, you also have a goal maybe to run an NGO and help people, pay people's school fees and things like that. And you'll see that accomplishing your financial goal will enable you to have the resources to do the other one. So rather than having all kinds of goals, you may write them down. Yes, you set them aside, but per time, you'll be focusing on particular goals. So this would be my counsel or something, and this has been my approach. And I learned it actually from Michael Hyatt, one of the foremost world-renowned leadership coaches and productivity experts. He said, look, focus on just a few goals per time. So you may want to break your goals down, to quarterly, so that in the first quarter, you can say to yourself, this is what I'm going to be doing. And then in the second quarter, you can say to yourself, this is what I'm going to be doing. But by all means, find keystone goals. Find the goals that have the greatest impact on all other areas or other arenas of your life, and stick to those goals, and you find that the other areas will be taken care of. The other thing I'd like you to be ready to consider is to be ready to pay the price. There's a price for every accomplishment. It was Bongo's Ikwe in his song, I mean, I think it's in the 1970s, that said, I've been searching for true love. One of the lines said, nothing comes easy, this I know, but I will keep on searching until I find. It's not enough to write your goals. It's not enough to paint that canvas, with glowing achievements. You must be willing. You have to be ready to pay the price. You have to be ready. The price isn't necessarily in terms of cash, or in terms of, in monetary terms. The price could be and is mostly in terms of what you need to forego. What are you dropping for the other? What would you let go so that you can embrace your goal? What are you going to, what will you be taking on so that you can embrace your goal? If you have, for example, a goal to go to school, then you have to be ready to pay the price of burning the midnight oil or getting the necessary tutoring that you require. If you have the goal to set up a business, then you have to pay the price of acquiring the right kind of information and to keep pushing and keep marketing. Whatever your goal is, if you have the goal of looking trimmer and slimmer and prettier, then you've got to pay the price of letting go of that soda. Talk to me. So, whatever your goal is, you've got to know and understand and be ready that there is a price to it, um, and that you'll be willing to pay the price. One way to actually assess what the price, or what the value, I should say, what the value of a goal is to you, is for you to ask yourself and try to answer the question, what will happen, or what will this goal mean in my future if I accomplish it? For example, if you had that certification that you're looking for, that you need, what would it imply? What would be the implication? What would it mean? What would be the future value for your career? Let's say in the next 5 years, where would it take you to? And what would be the value, of not accomplishing that goal? How would you be handicapped? How would that work against you? What will happen if, if we come to a place, for example, where you're applying for a position and they are saying and so certification or qualification required? That's the way to look at the price that you have to pay. It's the opportunity cost. It's the net value. The net present value is the long-term value also of that goal, of achieving it or not achieving it. Okay, so that's the price you have to pay. Another personal example, I helped a friend of mine set up, as part of my work as an interior decorator, I helped a friend of mine set up her office, her fashion studio. And after she set up, while they were working on it, I was sort of helping her, consulting and all that. And after she set up, for months, I wouldn't go by there. I didn't go there. She did ready to wear clothes, beautiful things. And she kept complaining and saying, I don't understand why you haven't visited me. Have I offended you? I said, no. There was only one reason why I didn't go there. For months, I wouldn't even let it gain space in my mind, because I knew that I would be hooked if I went there. I had a financial goal and I needed to meet that goal. But I knew that if I went to, visit with my friend and went to see her new studio, her, shop, her boutique and all that, all of my goal will fly out. Because as you know, most of our decisions are made not logically, but emotionally. So that was the price I had to pay. The price of not seeing and having time to, fellowship with my dear friend, even though I could, once in a while send her a chat and say, I hope you're doing well, and say to her, I'm fine, and all that. But that was the price. So sometimes the price is nothing so heavy. Sometimes the price is just a decision you need to take, but you've got to pay the price. You've got to make that decision and stay with that decision show yourself that you're, serious, about achieving your goal. So how are we doing so far? How is it coming on? Are you gaining things? Let me just hear, how it is with you, what's happening with you. I like to say to you that success is in your DNA, honestly. You only fail when you stop trying. You don't fail. You have not failed when when you encounter a difficulty, when things don't turn out right, and yet you dust off the pain and shame and keep going. Success is in your DNA. You are created to succeed, and you've got to succeed. Success is natural to you, to every human being, because you're made by God and you're made in His image. Success is in your in your DNA. Don't give up. You've got to manifest that success. Many people's lives depend on you succeeding much more than you know. I read a story, recently that inspired me so much. It was about Henry Ford. Of course, you know him, the should I say the progenitor of mobilization as we know it right now of motor vehicles. He was one that had the vision, to move from uh, 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 horse-drawn carts to vehicles, and to commoditize, vehicular movement so that everyone will have access to be able to afford it. But I learned that Henry Ford was an introvert. He was a shy, a bit of a timid person. But it took his wife to keep encouraging him, to keep boosting his confidence, to keep telling him that it's going to work when people couldn't see his vision. So, what am I saying? I'm saying to you that you need to rise up to become all that you can be, because your success will trigger off successes for not just yourself, not just your family, but for the whole world. You never can tell who's waiting on you. You only fail when you stop trying. As I begin to round off, so to give us a chance to maybe ask questions, and so I can see your comments, I like to just read out to you a few quotes that will guide you as and that will also underscore the importance of setting goals and making plans, so that at the end of the day, you know, we will know that we've done our best and we will really get the best out of 2021. Seth Godin said, everybody has their own Mount Everest that they were put on earth to climb. You've got to climb yours. Everyone has their own Mount Everest. What is yours? Your Mount Everest can be that goal, that lofty, impossible goal that is in your heart right now. I heard Denzel Washington say something, that the fact that you have a desire to do something is an indication that God has given you the permission to do it. So stop worrying and stop wondering and stop saying, oh, how is it going to be? How am I going to do? Am I sure I'm in the right place? Should I be doing this? Everyone has their own Mount Everest, and that they were put here on earth to climb. You've got to find yours and to climb it. Jim Rohn, oh Jim Rohn, God bless his soul. Jim Rohn, great philosopher. Um, he's one of the people that motivates me quite a bit. And he said this: you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Honestly, you could not have done anything about 2020, but overnight, by choosing to set goals deliberately for 2021, you can change the direction that you're traveling. You can change the trajectory of your life. Another quote I want to bring to you is, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what? They have and guess what they planned for you? Not very much. So if you don't become proactive and make your own plan, you'll just be running around, you'll be reactive, and you'll be running everyone's plan. And I'm telling you the truth, their plan is not much for you. Their plan is for themselves and not for you. One more quote: all who have accomplished great things have had a great aim, have fixed their gaze on a goal which was high, one which sometimes seemed impossible. Orison Swett Madden said that. Everyone who has accomplished, so the first step to a great accomplishment is to set a goal. Everyone who has accomplished a great, anything great, has had a great aim or a great vision, and they have fixed their gaze on that goal, which was very high and sometimes seemed impossible. Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it is done. So, and someone else said, the one step, this one step, choosing a goal and sticking to it changes everything. This one step, you can never imagine how your life will turn when you take this one step. Just taking this one step, setting your goal, choosing that goal, stick or those goals, sticking to it or to sticking to them, everything in your life. You can literally have a 180-degree change, a total turnaround in your life. So, in winding up, I like to just tell you again what we'll be expecting in the next sessions. Like I said earlier, we'll have another session on the 9th of January. We just want to give you time to, digest what we've shared today, give you time also to connect with me. I like to receive, your comments, your questions, and share with me areas that you're having difficulties with, in terms of setting your goals. So on the 9th of January 2021, we will have another session. It's a Saturday morning by 12 noon, just as we started today. We will have, and this session will be a lot more in depth than this. I expect you to come with your goals already set, because we'll actually be setting the goals. We'll be looking at what you've done. We'll be guiding you through them. We'll just be releasing for you the tactics, that will enable you to clarify. You will be able to gain clarity with the goals that you have set, because sometimes you can set a goal and you're not really connected with that goal. I find that I can set a goal because the goal sounds nice. It's a good thing to say or to write down that, oh, I want to be, I want to weigh 50 kilograms, or I want to lose 40 pounds, in 3 months. It might sound nice, might sound heroic, but if you don't really gain clarity or how that will impact your life overall, or how you will accomplish that goal, you're probably never going to accomplish it. So in that session, we'll help you to gain clarity. We'll also help you to look at the habits that you need to develop to support your goals, because that's so vital. We'll be looking at how you can break mental blockades. Oh dear, do we have mental blockades? Yes, plenty. All kinds of fears and phobias that may be lurking in your mind, and they manifest as excuses that you give yourselves, or reasons that you give yourself rather, or manifesting as in your procrastination. Procrastination may just be a symptom of fear. So we will be looking at those, helping you to locate those mental blockades and dismantling them, because really I am committed to you succeeding, and we will help you to make 2021 your best year so far. When we get to 2022, then we will build on the gains of 2021, and from now on we will be on an upward trail, in life. I like to say to you that it's been my pleasure to bring this to you. I'm actually committed to your success. It's one of my goals to make sure that I help people move from the place of fear, of failure, of frustration, to the place of faith, of freedom, and of fulfillment. I'm really hoping that you join with me on the 9th of January 2021. I'm also hoping that you will share this information with your friends, and let's all connect together. After this, you will find all the platforms on which you will find me, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much, Ochi. Thank you, Ibukun. Thank you so much for being there. Claire, I can see you. Oh wow, Dr. Ogba, my professor. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're there. And so many of you, thank you so much for joining me today. Um, okay, so okay, I'm trying to look at what some of you have said. Ochi, you've said because I have a vision book, I'm going through my book and scoring each main goal. Awesome, awesome. Um, Ogba says, I'll embrace 2021 with optimism based on my faith in God. Beautiful. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, faith is really what helps us to accomplish it. You know, remember I said something about having collaborators, and I should have said to you that the very first collaborator that you need in the accomplishment of your goal is the Lord God Almighty Himself. All right. So thank you, everyone. It's been fun. Just link up with me. Send your comments, please, on the Telegram page if you're on it, or on my Facebook page, Cordelia Etuk Coaching, if you can locate me, or you can send me a direct message. I'll be glad to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful, beyond expectation, successful 2021. Bye for now.